If we're not at a Disney park, we're dreaming about being there, and a cup of Joffrey's Coffee Disney Blend helps. But what about when you're at a Disney park? The Joffrey's Disney Kiosk and Restaurant Locator will make sure you never miss out, whether it's a cool drink on a hot summer vacation or a great cup of coffee at a Disney signature restaurant. Joffrey's has you covered. Check it out at joffreys.com.
Hey, Tim and Bob, what's up? This is Joe Quattrocchi, your original Super Looper. Congratulating you guys on 500 episodes. 500. Can't believe you guys haven't killed each other yet. But seriously, thank you guys so much for all the joy you guys bring us every week, bringing us into your guys' world, and just letting us be a part of it, us, the Roundtable, and all of Looper Nation. We can't wait for the next 500. Congratulations. Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year, guys. And thank you again for everything you do for us.
500 episodes, guys. What are you going to do? This is Rebecca here, and I just wanted to say congratulations on your 500th episode. I can't even say it right. Seriously, thank you for allowing us into your world, for making us part of your family, and for allowing us to share in the magic of every day, and for making us part of this podcast. We love it. We couldn't ask for more, and we appreciate every moment we spend with you. Here's to 500 more. Cheers.
Hey, Bob and Tim. Tim and Bob, Frank and John, or Beulah and Delilah. I don't know who you are. But anyway, this is Brad Coates wishing you the congratulations on your 500th episode. I can't even count that high, so that's pretty impressive. I can't wait to see what lies ahead. As everybody's already said, we can't thank you enough for creating an incredible environment, a community where we can all come together and share the things that we love about Disney together. Thanks for bringing this ragtag group of people together and giving us a purpose. Congratulations, guys.
500, guys. That's crazy. Thank you for letting us be part of your whole new world of Disney recordings here, helping us let it go, and okay, I'm out of dorky references, but you all can fill in the blanks. Thank you so much for bringing us on to this amazing roundtable. Thank you on behalf of every single person that listens to your podcast and has had their name mentioned or has been able to interact on the Facebook group, the Twitter handle, any of it. We're all just so grateful to have you guys in our lives and for you having given us a place to connect. Here's to many more years of this and many more episodes. Happy 500.
Did we get that?
Was my microphone working?
I don't know. Brad,
Rebecca, who dressed you? You look really funny. What's going on?
I think I heard a dog. Did you lock your dog upstairs?
Can we redo that whole thing? I sounded so dumb.
Yeah, you did, but we still love you.
You get a shout out to Fort Wilderness Jim out there.
Where is Tara Renee? I thought she was going to call in.
Oh, I think she's in the bar.
Well, yeah. I thought she was going to call in from the bar.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
We are now approaching the Contemporary Resort Hotel. If you are exiting and would like to reboard the monorail later today, please receive a hand stamp as you exit the platform.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. This is HolidayThon 2017. I'm Tim Scott.
I'm Bob Collar. Very, very special show today, Tim.
I don't even think they realize how special it is.
Well, it's huge. This is huge. Who knew? I can't believe I'm even saying this.
Say it.
A year and a half ago, almost two. Well, I'm sorry, not a year and a half ago.
What?
Almost what? 5 years ago now?
Coming up, yeah.
Almost 5 years ago. We started this little show thing idea that you had. We're up to this, the number 500th episode. So we had to do it up big.
We went large.
We went over the top.
We went big.
Our guest couldn't make it. So we invited instead.
So we went with our fourth backup.
No. We saved this for you guys.
Absolutely.
Because you guys have been such a huge part of the ResortLoop.com podcast. So, Tim, please make the introductions.
Everybody, for episode 500 of ResortLoop.com, this is the DVC Roundtable. Today we have Emily Hansa Hicks. I swear she's there. That sounds more like Brad Coates with Rebecca Toon, Joe Quattrocchi. They're all here.
Cow goes wild.
There we go.
Most
wonderful show of the
champions, my friend.
Wow, it's like a medley. It's like a K-Tel album.
I'm gonna buy a
And
lottery
it's
ticket
officially off the rails.
we're just
So honored.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the actual 500.
Yep, 500.
No way.
tonight. We did not know this, by the way, everybody. We
No.
did not know we were going to be the 500 show when we started recording.
This is crazy.
So yeah, number 500. We wanted to save it for. I mean, we're just gonna say this, okay? Who'd we have? Episode 100. We had Pixar, the folks from Pixar, Tim. We had the Sherman Brothers on
We did.
one of the maybe 300.
Something like that, yeah.
So these are a big deal to us, to Tim and I, and we wanted to make it bring in our special friends from the DVC Roundtable to to share this with, because this is a big deal to Tim and I. We joke a lot, but these are milestones. We never thought that this was going to.
Oh, please.
So,
We are
and
pretty
it's
special.
it's
You are.
because of guys like you, and we appreciate it. So,
And then,
it's what I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just saying, Bob, this isn't a regular DVC Roundtable. We're taking a special holiday approach to this show.
That's exactly. We're only we're what, 2 days away from Christmas,
Wow.
and so we put out, and we're going to be doing this show later on, but we put out to Looper Nation a question back a while ago about why is Disney special to you? And we thought, the loopers out there want to get to know our roundtable crew a little bit better. So we thought,
right.
What better way than to ask that question?
So that's the question we're posing to you guys tonight. So we're going to go through news. We'll catch up in January. But we want to know more about you guys.
Can we have lots and lots of answers?
I reserve the right to buzz.
Looper Nation out there, we are all just kind of like, what? This is the 500th episode. I can't even believe it.
Neither can we.
No.
Like, do you feel like
insane.
me, though, that 500 seems like a lot? But then again, like, I can't actually remember not having Bob and Tim in my car and in
You've
my
got a good point.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah, I
true.
don't remember
in
the
my
beginning.
trip in some way. Like,
We're always in the trunk.
Yes. Yes.
It's like my
I'm not
marriage.
looking out.
It happened yesterday, but I feel like I've been married for my entire life.
It's like Stockholm syndrome.
Eventually, you'll love us.
Associate with your captors a little bit. So
Hey, well,
yeah.
where's the exit? Just asking.
Now's our chance.
Please remain clear of the doors. They're shut and never let you. We're like the Hotel California. We don't let you go.
Oh, wow.
Check
Nor
out
would we
anytime.
want to.
I was really looking forward to talking about new DVC merch that came out.
I know, right? We did that last time. Did you see? By the way, Joe, did you see that customizable stuff?
Yes, I just placed a very large order today. So
That's why he was late for the show.
I think Disney was finally listening to us. Sure, we'll talk about what Disney means to us, but we won't talk about Disney merch,
Maybe what Disney means to you is merchandise.
There, maybe. Tim, who should start us off tonight?
Let's start with Emily.
Oh my gosh, I'm the least prepared as usual. But why is Disney special to me?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a big one. So I'm just going to give like a really cop-out answer, and then I'll just interrupt everybody else as they talk like usual. And
Full show then.
right. Okay, so the reason Disney is special to me, this is really a hard question. I think it's kind of, to me, it represents this idealist, futurist kind of huge universe of not only do you have like the parks, but you also have the intellectual property that you can enjoy. You have like books, you have merchandise, you have basically, also I'm a stockholder. So I think what makes it special is that it's just this, it's a really, truly sort of futuristic kind of idealistic company. And there's obviously, areas where they're putting in squirt bottles in the showers and things like that. But aside from that, it's It's this place where there are sort of no boundaries, like the term Imagineer, for example. You look at Imagineers, that doesn't really exist anywhere except because of Disney. These people that sort of are combinations of inventors and engineers and artists. And it's just this idea that there's this place that has thrived that sort of erases normal boundaries and sort of maintains this open, inclusive, imaginative atmosphere that just so many people connect with. And I think it's easy to see that a lot of people feel comfortable there, people that don't feel comfortable other places even. And it's a place you can take your kids. It's a place you can go with your friends. And that's Disney World, of course, but the whole universe of it, there's just so many ways to enjoy it. So, and it's also sort of a distraction and escape. There's that quality. And I don't know who here has seen Tomorrowland and liked it, but I love that movie. And that is sort of classic Disney to me, this idea that they're playing with ideas all the time. And there you go. That's a really long-winded non-answer. Sorry about that.
That's not a non-answer. It's hard to put into words, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's very difficult.
And to be fair, I read the prompt 5 minutes ago. As usual,
I'm just shocked you had it downloaded.
I opened the show notes like right as soon as I could log on.
There are notes. This is all impromptu. Sorry guys.
We're always well prepared here at Resort. After 500 episodes, we are very well prepared.
It was literally one line, folks. It was just what makes Disney
throwing Kim right under the bus. 500th episode.
I mean, it was extensive, and there were a lot of footnotes. Is that better? I mean, I don't know where to go with that.
I will say the font selection I thought was over the top.
I'm dodging and weaving at this point.
Oh my goodness!
I love
it.
Awesome.
Tim, who's next?
I think we need to hear from Rebecca.
Oh, okay. So it's interesting because much like my actual journey through life, my journey in Disney has changed as I've gotten older and as I've changed who I am in general. So originally Disney, I fell in love with Disney from an sort of idealistic childhood point of view. I always wanted to go as a child. We didn't go. But when my children were born, I was determined to get them there because I had watched the movies, and Disney had always seemed to be around when I was having troubles, and I don't know if that was just because I had a lot of troubles as a child.
Well, that explains a lot.
It makes anybody comfortable, folks. Anybody.
But there was always a movie in my case that really stuck with me about the Disney ideals. And so the first time I took my children, it was because I wanted to see it for myself, and I wanted to instill in my children this concept of being able to, as Walt said, if you can dream it, you can do it sort of thing. And for them to really believe in their ability to do anything. And then as my children got older, it sort of became this, it evolved from a fairy tale and just to a confidence. And I there's two quick anecdotes that I will tell. And one is, they're both about my daughter Bailey. But when my daughter Bailey was around 4 or 5, we had already been to Disney a number of times. She was head over heels in love with every princess and absolutely 100% set on the fact that she needed her own crown. And being the very practical single mother that I was, I said, well, you'll have to earn the money to buy it. So she saved her pennies and dug around in the sofa and sweet talked her grandpa out of nickels and dimes for about 7 months until she had accumulated about $10 in change. And we went to a little local kind of a Claire's boutique sort of place. And she picked out the crown that she wanted, and she very carefully counted out all of this money, much to the cashier's chagrin, and said, let me count it for you to $10. And finally the cashier was just like, take the crown, it's fine. But she was very proud of herself. And so we got in the car and she put her crown on. And I said, I have to make a quick stop at Walmart. And so we pulled into the Walmart parking lot, and I said, be careful when you put that back in the box, but why don't you slide it under the seat? And she kind of looked at me like she didn't know what I was talking about. And I said, well, I just don't want you to shove it under the seat and it to get broken. And she kept looking at me kind of like I had grown an extra head. And so finally I gathered she wasn't comprehending what I was telling her. So I said, Bailey, you're not going to wear the crown into Walmart, are you?
Yes.
And she looked at me,
Of course I
and she said, Mom, I can be a princess anywhere. And to this day, my daughter truly believes that.
Well, here's the thing then. I think you should save some money and just take her to Walmart. Tell her it's Disney World.
So
Put on your crown, princess.
You'll know.
So I
Rebecca will
lied
know.
and Billy became who she was. And I caught a lot of flack over the years. I don't know if you
Yes.
that have daughters have sort of experienced this, but I caught a lot of flack over the years about letting my daughter believe in fairy tales and princesses and things like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then my daughter turned 16. And in February, she wanted to really mark her 16th birthday with something. So she registered for the half marathon, the Princess Half Marathon in Disney World. And not only did she register that, she registered for the challenge. So one day she ran the 10K with me and my mom, and then the next day she ran the half marathon. And there was no greater joy than watching my daughter cross the finish line in a lot of what the confidence that she had built and the wherewithal to keep going when she was exhausted and tired came from those early days in Disney where she learned that she could be a princess anywhere. And it was a huge mindset for us. And so that was one reason I fell in love. And then as I have now become an empty nester and find myself not the mother of Bailey or the mother of Andrew, and I kind of have my own space, what I have found is a community of friends and podcasters and DVC members who have actually become friends. And I call Joe my Disney husband, and Tara and Emily are my drinking buddies. And Brad is the guy who gets to hold the keys when I get a little off the road.
Our Disney designated driver.
Well, that's me.
Very unique and special role in my life as friends. And one of my favorite characters ever of Disney was Winnie the Pooh. And he has a quote that says, "Good friends will help you until you're unstuck." And I tend to be a person that gets stuck a lot. And my Disney friends have always sort of stood by me and bolstered me and reminded me of the fairy tale and the princesses and the heroes, and that those are real and they exist, and they're usually my friends. And so I am incredibly grateful to them, and I am incredibly grateful to each and every person that I've come in contact with, cast members through people who have become very dear friends, because they are a part of my life. And I can't imagine my life without them anymore.
There you go.
Wow.
Love it.
And you are a mother to John now.
There is no truer statement that has ever been.
By the way, never say that to Matt. Matt will murder somebody if anyone says that to him.
Yeah, your husband's actually a pretty big dude, Emily, so I wouldn't mess with him. So.
He also cooks, so
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's such an amazing community that comes out of something that isn't necessarily tangible. I mean, it's a corporation at its very basic tenet. It's a corporation, and so to be able to form friendships and things like that, to me, is amazing.
that is so true. And I would add that if you do go to the Disney Family Museum in San Francisco, you will be reassured about that whole corporate aspect, because although it is a corporation, the museum is not. The museum is owned by the family, and you really do see like the root of all of it, and that it actually is sort of being carried through by that corporation, which is really weird. Like at this point, I can't speak to future Disney, but I can tell you, I can tell you right now.
I can tell you right now, there's a time of
a time of recording. There's so much of that spirit that was really there at the beginning and through Disney that they've really managed to preserve, which is also really unique of a company, even like a family named company, that they, like the whole like the train themes and everything like that, like the Carolwood Room and the they keep making the resorts more complex and interesting recently, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right,
So it's amazing.
It seems like, and unlike so many corporations nowadays, that when the founder either sells the company off or passes away, the company completely changes in its dynamic. And Disney, Disney had its issues, especially back in the 80s, where they almost fell apart. But I think that they have always tried to keep Walt in their vision of everything that's and it's not it's unique. I think it's unique you look at what's happening to Apple right now. It's all kinds of problems, bugs in the systems, and all of that stuff, which just never happened when Steve Jobs was around. So it's interesting that the company has been able to maintain a little bit of that vision throughout and kept that family atmosphere. So
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
As of the date of recording.
As of
Turning Emily.
As of episode 500 of Resort.
We make no future representation to add to the corporate structure of Disney World. As a shareholder, I do not speak for the board.
Who's the lawyer in this?
I don't know. Probably Rebecca.
Trust me, no.
Tim, who's next?
Hey, how about Brad? You're up.
Well, I'd like to thank the Academy and all the people that
Play the music. Play the music.
Oscar him off.
Actually, when you guys first, when you announced what you were doing, what flashed in my mind, I think it was actually at one of the Oscars where some gal got up and said, "You love me. You really love me."
Oh, Sally Field.
This is awesome. Well, okay, I'm going to take a lifetime of Disney and make it as quick as I can. I'm going to take a different approach. Then wasn't it you, Emily, said you're going to just kind of do it in pieces?
That's great.
At the age of 18, I went to Disneyland for the first time, and that was the last time that I went for probably 20 years. And to be honest with you, I was never a Disney fan. A long story as to why I didn't really care for Disney, but I had some other experiences at Disneyland. I just was never that enamored. And when my youngest child was 2.5 months old, the mother-in-law invited all of the kids and their grandkids to come to Disneyland. She paid for I think she paid for the hotel, and we bought our own tickets. But so my wife said, "We're going," and I said, "All right," and we went. And my little girl was 2.5 months old. We went around the park, toting around this little baby and another, a 5-year-old, basically, and 4.5. And we got to Minnie's house, and Minnie Mouse saw us standing in line to get a picture. And all of a sudden, she stuck her hands out towards Patty Jo, my little girl, and she just, with her big padded hands, said, "Give me the baby." She just said, "Give me the baby." And we're like, "Okay." So my wife hands her Patty, and long story short, she started loving on our daughter, and then waved at the crowd, line of people waiting to have their pictures taken, stepped back into Minnie's house, sat down on one of those hard fake couches, and for 15 minutes, my precious little girl looked up in Minnie's eyes and goo-gooed and smiled and giggled, and we cried like babies. Oh. And I'm going to try not to do that myself. Everybody on the podcast basically knows, and some other people know that what I do for a living, I'm actually a pastor. I've been in ministry my entire adult life. That's all I've ever been involved in. And when you have this career path, your family's life and your life is lived in a bubble. You face a lot of struggles and difficulties, and my kids, they're raised in an environment where they don't always get a chance to be a kid. They're always looked at by people to figure, well, they're his kids, his daughter, so they need to be perfect, and they need to be right, and they need to be the best, and so sometimes it can be hard as a family. Well, we decided in that one moment. The reason I share that is in that one moment years ago when Patty was 2.5 months old, we looked at each other and said, okay, this whole week was magical in a way that we don't know how to recreate it for our family. And I don't know how in the world we're going to do this, but we're going to do this every year. We're going to escape the world, the real world we live in, and we're going to live in a world of magic and make believe, and we're going to go to a place that gives my kids a chance to just let everything go and to live in the fairy tale bubble. And we've actually been able to do that. My Patty Joe is 18, getting ready to graduate from high school, and they have done at least one thing Disney every single year of their lives. And the cool part is, just like was said earlier, my girls, man, Disney is just as magical to them today as it ever was. In fact, my older daughter has decided she's very serious about a young man, and I'm expecting to get that call pretty soon where I need to start saving for something else.
Oh.
Should have been saving already.
Yeah.
Sell a couple points. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll rent them from you.
But anyway, but she informed us the other day. We said, well, you get married, you have to start your own Disney, adventures and everything. She said, no way, Dad, we're going to always go on family vacations. Because, that's what we do as a family. We're all Disney. I'm like, oh, boy.
I'm so choked up.
That's because you paid for them, probably.
Yeah, exactly. But I should say, because of why we are all gathered here today, one of the true keys to the ability of us being able, for the last 18 years, to find a way to escape into that magical fairy tale experience, that bubble, we could have never done it without DVC. I'm just going to say flat out. We were lucky enough to buy early and to buy and to get in on the ground floor and get started. And so it has long paid for itself with us. There's no way I could put a price tag on what DVC and what Disney has done for me and my family. It is, and it will always be that way. Now my wife and I, we love to go without the kids at times, and on our 25th anniversary, we went on a Disney cruise. I mean, we are true blue, dyed through and through Disney fantasy lovers.
Very
Wow.
nice.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Very nice.
Totally
Getting us
teared
all
up.
choked up.
I know.
Thanks,
I
Brad.
hope someday my kids
Wow.
are going to say, I want to go to Disney with you, Mom.
It will happen.
Oh, it's coming.
Not only will it happen, it won't stop.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it'll turn into, when are we going, Mom?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My daughter
Rebecca.
called me the other day and she said, I have a physics assignment. Can we go to Disney World?
No.
She wanted to do a physics project on the something physics, blah, 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 physics on the drop of the Tower of Terror. I'm like,
Makes sense to me.
That girl's working the crowd.
There you go.
Rebecca, just let her know that I've done that experiment even with you many times, all right?
less vodka, dear. Less vodka.
Hopefully she can get some research funding for her trip.
Yeah.
She needs a grant.
I have a firm dream someday that she's taking me to Disney on grant money.
There you go. Well, I got to tell you this quick story because this just happened. A lot of you know that my daughter started college this past fall, and for her graduation present, my wife and I said, we will take you on a vacation wherever you want to go. If you want to go to Hawaii, we'll go to Hawaii. If you want to go to, she wants to go to the UK and see the UK, we'll figure out a way to do that. Wherever you want to go, where do you want to go?
Adopt me.
We ended up.
She wants to go to World Showcase.
Yes, she wanted to go to Walt Disney World one last time as a family before she started her new life. So, it never stops, Emily. So,
Love it.
And it never gets old, does it, Brad? Like, you're always happy to hear that.
Well, and every year we go back. That's the cool thing about Disney. In fact, in a couple hours, I'm doing another podcast on Diz Dads, and we're talking about the year in review. It's every year something new. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it doesn't, people go, don't you get sick? You've been so many times. I said, no, because every time I go back, there's something new. I got to do Guardians of the Galaxy for the first time. I saw the new Fantasmic. I'm going to see the new Star Wars land. It's like every time you go back.
And in fact, every time you change something.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Agreed.
Where's Maelstrom? I want him.
oh,
Now.
Too soon? Too soon.
This is a positive show. This is a.
We might hear Toad's Wild Ride, but not.
Oh.
They never even told me it was going anywhere.
And before you know it,
better.
gondolas.
Hey.
Wow.
Skyliners.
That's true.
John went there. Joe went there, man. Joe went there.
I didn't. That was not me. That was Tim.
That was,
That was me.
impersonating Joe.
It's usually Joe.
It's like ventriloquy on a podcast.
You know, it's not Christmas. It's not Christmas Day yet, Tim. You get nothing from me again.
Gee, I hope it fits.
I'm sending it back.
Sending it back.
Oh,
Bob, I hate gondolas. Send it to me.
Tim,
well,
do we
speaking-
have anybody else left?
we
Who
do.
we have left?
Well, speaking of Joe Quattrocchi, hey Joe,
The original.
your
I'm
turn.
I'm sitting here.
Super Looper.
That's right.
I'm sitting here very patiently, but it's a very tough act to follow. Following Brad and that, and it was not an act. We're saying that was an amazing story. So I got to follow that. Great. So
We're all crying.
Because you have no kids, so you have no tearjerker.
Right.
I know, right?
Yeah, seriously. No, that's not true. He has an adorable relationship with his wife that I like to watch, which is also very, very,
She
like,
says
very tender.
she says I act like a child. So
well,
Well,
count for
could be
anything.
worse.
But first of all, before I even start, I'm sure I speak on behalf of everybody here that we are just honored and humbled to be the 500th episode. And we're also honored and humbled that you guys, we tell you every week or every month, I'm sorry, when we do these shows that, thank you for letting us be a part of this. And I think I speak on behalf of all of us, really. Thank you, Tim and Bob, for letting us be a part of this show and a part of all of your listeners. I mean, they're fans of you guys, not of us. We're just kind of along for the ride. And,
Best to disrupt it.
we're kind of like the construction on the freeway, but we're we appreciate you guys seriously letting us come on every month and talk about something that we love and be a part of your community and a part of this show. So before I start, thank you for letting us do that. So
Here.
now I'm blushing.
Amen.
I appreciate it. So
Our
and also obviously we all became very close friends because of this too, and that
Absolutely.
also grateful. So
Absolutely.
and that kind of goes into what I want to talk about is that like as a kid growing up, especially from New Jersey, hence they have Jersey Week down in Disney World. When you say why is Disney special to me, my answer is mostly going to be around Disney World. But like that's just something that and I've said this before, I've been blessed and lucky because not everybody gets the chance to do it and to do it on the level that I've been able to do it. So I want to put that out there. I've been very lucky. As a child, I went down there. My first trip, I think, was 1985. I was 5 years old. I'm staying at the Polynesian. I'm staying at the Contemporary.
Nice.
I'm going twice a year. I'm going for Christmas and for July 4th. That's just what we did. I was very lucky. For some of the diehard Disney fans, I was on the Grand Plan a few times at the Grand Floridian where everything was paid for, and it was amazing.
What?
Exactly. So it doesn't exist anymore. So I've been blessed because of those trips and because of me going down with my cousins and my extended family. I've created so many memories. That's just what we did. That was like part of the fabric of my family was going to Disney World once or twice a year. That was what we looked for. That's what we planned to do. As a 10-year-old, I remember sitting on my IBM computer, my PC computer on MS-DOS typing out like itinerary stuff, like before that was even a thing.
Yes.
Created so many memories with my family. And now as I'm older, I'm almost 37-year-old man. I'm married now. My wife never got to do that as a kid. Our parents didn't take her to Disney. It wasn't that they couldn't go or they couldn't afford to go. They just didn't do that. And now that I'm married, and my wife was always a Disney fan, from the films and TV and stuff like that. But now I get to share that with her. And now I get to build new experiences and new memories with her. And even to further that, now my niece and nephew, my niece is 7, my nephew is 5 now, my brother's kids. And we've actually planned a trip this coming August of 2018 to go down there for a few days with them. And Uncle Joey and Auntie Jen can show them how things are really done. And I get to shower them with I get to buy them all kinds of cool stuff in the parks. And I'm going to feed them a whole bunch of sugar and stuff. And
Drink around the world.
But I'm going to do that. I'm going to be that uncle.
And send them home.
And send them home. Exactly. I'm going to go to my room at Saratoga and my
Top
brother
that,
go back to his room at his hotel. But my point being is that not only is it about family, within my immediate family and creating new memories and sharing new memories, but also to this community. It's without Disney being Disney, I mean, really, what other community can somebody really think of? At least I don't know off the top of my head that has a big community like this where random strangers can come together on the internet and within a couple of years periods become friends that like, you know, share intimate things with each other. Like I know we all go through things in life and we all have our conversations on the side. And, you know, Disney brought all of us together. I know, speaking from my experience, I've talked to Rebecca about some personal issues. Hell, when I bought my motorcycle, I was calling Bob on the phone on the way to the dealership. I mean, like, I wasn't calling my brother. I wasn't calling my dad. I was calling Bob. I mean, so asking Bob.
You're both crazy.
What I should know about buying my motorcycle, which I did buy. So I'm saying the Disney community and the podcast community and everything that it entails, it's become such a big part of my life. And just creating new memories, not only with my immediate family, but with all my podcasting family. It's just something that, you know, I'm eternally grateful for being on the show. I'm eternally grateful for these friendships, for the friendships of Tim and Bob. It's just something that I don't think there's anything else, not even a sports team or like your love for a school or a college can really bring people together like Disney. And that's why it's special to me. It's just, you know, I'm lucky to be on another podcast too, the Mickey Dudes, and those guys have become my friends over the last year. I mean, it's like I have all of these great friends because of Disney and because of Disney World. And so it's just all these memories that are only going to get better. Disney's only getting bigger. It's never going to be not in my life. And it's always something that, as crazy as the world gets and as screwed up as things are sometimes that we feel, it's that one happy place. It's that one time of the week where we record and we can forget about everything else going on. It's just something that makes all of us happy. So that's what I'm grateful for, is the memories with my family, the future memories I'm going to make with my family, and also the friendships that I've made through this family and this podcasting family, and all the listeners out there that we've met at Looper meets and stuff like that we've met that become friends as well. So shout out to all you guys, by the way.
Yes,
but it's been a hell of a ride, and I really can't wait to continue this ride with all you guys. So that's what it means to me. Merry Christmas, everybody!
Wow,
very nice.
Wonderful.
That was good follow up. That was good.
Yeah, you did well.
But you're right, Joe.
I'm not deducting any point.
Yeah. We're holding up our Olympic signs, you know, 9.5.
I teared up a little.
9.5.
I teared up a little too.
You know, but one thing that Joe said that really hit home with me was this idea that you don't connect like this with other groups. And I just have to say, I think there's something to that faith, trust, and pixie dust thing. Like there's just some kind of like implicit promise among other Disney lovers that just tells you that person like subscribes to this idea of this better, like, small world where we're all good to each other, and you know, we just are generally positive. And I know it's not always like that, but there's something about this particular community that sort of gives you a little bit of faith in the universe.
And it brings together folks of, it doesn't matter your social economic backgrounds, your interests outside, your jobs, your whatevers. No matter what it is, it's bringing people together like no other company on the face of the planet can do. Name one other company that you can think of that can bring people so passionately together and make instant friends. Not the NFL, like Joe said, not your college football team. Unless you went to that college, you don't get it. You know. But Disney can bring everybody together, all kinds of people together.
And the one cool thing about the company too, Bob, is that like I tried to think of a couple of things that like companies that would fit in this category, but I really can't. What really is American? I mean, Disney is probably one of the most American companies that I could think of. I mean, I know they have
worldwide,
but they're worldwide. But I understand like they have parks all over, in Asia and in Europe. I get that. But even like the car companies, the cars are made in Mexico or made in Canada, or made other places. But like Disney is just like it's when you think of American companies. I mean, that is the one company that really, maybe Apple, as well, but Apple stuff's still made overseas. But I'm just thinking Disney just feels like the most American. Just feels you had to put that plug in there. It just feels like the most American company out there. Like when you think America, you think Disney. I mean, that's just what I feel.
I think Elon Musk and Walt Disney would be good friends. By the way,
you and Walt Disney would be good friends.
No, Elon Musk and Walt Disney, they both are completely unbound by like rational obstacles.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Both dreamers.
We're like, nope, I'm going to invent it. If it can't be done, watch it.
Right.
Well, you know, one thing that I love too, somebody mentioned it a little earlier, talking about how it, you know, it brings us together, and when we come together in Disney environments like this, there's this sense of hope and everything. But the one thing that I love about the Disney communities, you know, Resort Loop and different communities like this, is how cool it is to see people from such different walks of life. It's like every time we do a podcast, I find out something new about you guys. I'm like, whoa. And can I just say, and put on, stacking onto what Joe said, you know, you guys had a podcast. You were doing quite a few versions. I know because I listened to them all before you invited me to sit in on one. I think Tim got a hold of me somehow. I don't even remember how. We were talking about something else and invited me to one of the shows. And I never really imagined that I would be here, you know, stick around this entire time. I figured I was just on to give some insight on I think I might have been Aulani, because I mentioned I'd been to Aulani.
I think so, yeah.
And to be a part of this community, and we from such different walks of life, and yet, you know, it brings us together with that common thread that just makes everything so positive and good. And you always say such kind words to me and to each other, and there's always this acceptance and love for each other, and it's just the way Disney it's Disney that does this, that creates this kind of mindset for us.
Right. It just like Emily said, it sprinkles that pixie dust over you.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel good. It lifts a lot of that day in, day out garbage that we all deal with off of our shoulders for a little bit. Right. And just, you know, makes you happy when we get together like this and we're all talking. Folks, listen, I'm going to let you on a little. I'll probably put this at the back end of the show. Oh. But we talk probably for a good half hour before we even start the show. And at least it is. You think the show is chaos?
Oh my goodness!
You should hear us talking ahead of time. And it's you know, all of us getting together like good friends do, and just having a great time. And it's all because, you know, a guy decided to draw a picture of a mouse and become an animator, and then build theme parks because he wanted something to do with his kids, and he wanted to share that experience. And these guys, Tim and I, have talked about this many times, and Looper Nation needs to know, because you guys are, you know, blowing smoke up our skirts. So we're gonna blow a little back at you. These guys make nothing. We don't pay them.
Oh,
they do this because they love.
So
they're so underpaid.
I haven't been waiting for the check to come in.
Yeah, you can keep waiting.
Sorry, Mom.
It's somewhere in the mail. It's in the mail. It's somewhere. But they, you know, all of them, all of you guys, you do it because you love Disney, because you want to share that magic with everybody else. It's not about me and Tim. Me and Tim may have, you know, provided a small platform for you guys to stand up on and talk, but it's because, you know, our DVC Roundtable crew loves talking about Disney, just like everybody out there listening loves talking about Disney. And when we try and talk to regular people about Disney, they give us weird looks.
You don't understand.
You know the eye roll. You know what we're talking about.
But I will say the other great thing is sticking your husband with 3 young children for like however long it takes to record.
He thinks we record 5 times a month.
Wine and other grown-ups.
So wait a minute, is that why every time we're trying to end the show, Emily's like, but wait, I need to talk about some other stuff.
But wait,
there's more. There's more.
Don't make me go back to that world.
What you don't see is that I continue to pretend to talk for about another half hour.
That's awesome.
It would be absolutely amazing if we actually lived close to each other and actually recorded in person together. Like, I know we've done it for the Looper meets, and
I feel like that would be dangerous.
Oh, that would be amazing. It would be so epic. It'd be unreal.
You know, it's wonderful. Speaking of that, Joe, it's wonderful that you guys have then brought other friends of yours into our lives. You know, Emily, you brought Tara Renee into the fold, if you will, and
go Tara.
Justin and Brittany are now part of Looper Nation, and it's so nice to have all of these people. We know people, you guys know people, and people know you from all over the world. And again,
crazy.
No other company can bring people together like that. I can't think of one.
Nope.
Shout out to Bing and Bong there.
Oh, that's right.
Who I actually knew before Resort Loop. I knew from another group, and it was amazing to meet them after, and I'm not joking here when I say after 20 years.
Oh my
we
gosh.
met at a ResortLoop.com meet.
Oh my gosh.
The internet's been around for 20 years.
Wow.
Joe,
I was going to say, you're not talking about those kids, are you?
It was black and white when it started.
I do. Emily mentioned when she was speaking, she mentioned Tomorrowland, which is actually one of my favorite movies. Yes. So speaking of the community that we formed, I had made a friend again through Disney who ran back in the day when there wasn't podcasts, but there were message boards. I don't know if you remember those.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And I had made a very dear friend over in the UK. And to this day, again, 20 plus years, I've never met him. And but we had a mutual friend who I was going to meet, and they were coming over for the holiday, and we were going to have dinner. And we met for dinner, and she said, "Oh, I have some mail for you that I've held on to for a while, but I was asked to deliver this." And it was an envelope, and inside, and at the time they were very hard to come by, but in the inside was a Tomorrowland pin.
Ooh.
And if you know the story of the Tomorrowland movie, he wrote me just he isn't necessarily a man of many words, but he wrote me this lovely note about tomorrow and in the future, and being that spark of insanity, if you will, for someone else, and not letting that die out, and always being true to yourself. And that pin firmly resides on my lanyard and goes everywhere every time I go to Disney, right alongside my ResortLoop.com pin. And I don't know about the rest of you, but every time I go into the park and I have those on, I'm very proud to wear them. I'm very proud when somebody asks me about them, and I feel connected. And even when we're not in the parks with somebody, although that's very unusual with Joe being there.
That's right.
I always know, people go, oh my goodness, don't you hate going to Disney by yourself? And I'm like, guys, you don't understand. I am never alone.
It's true.
There's always
so
somebody
true.
there.
True.
There's always someone there, even if it's a friend of a friend of a friend. I'm like, well, we're going to be friends now. Guess what?
Right.
So
Yeah.
there is that community, but that Tomorrowland promise from that movie rings very true to me, Emily, and it meant a lot when you mentioned that, because that pen and that community and that friendship that I formed, even though I've literally never set eyes on this person, has been so very precious to me. Just like, even though for a while we never thought we were going to meet Tim.
He does exist. It's like Santa.
Have I met you yet in person?
No.
I still haven't met Tim in
No,
person.
you haven't.
I haven't either. I haven't
You're,
even
that's it.
know he-
You're off the round table.
I don't even believe it.
I haven't met any of you in person, so I'm gone.
I'm working on that. I'm working on that, Brad. I'm hoping
Yeah,
to
I
see you
don't
this
know what-
summer.
Yeah, but Brad, you're in a different time zone, so you're
It is
excluded.
true.
You're excused. We're all in the Eastern time zone.
Let me explain something to you. I'm on a different planet. That's a whole other podcast. So
incredibly calming and reassuring at the end of every podcast when Bob says his final
See everybody.
"See everybody," and people are trying to recreate it, and you can't.
there's no
And
reason.
when you have a
Come on
bad
now.
day, I do a couple of things. When I'm having a tough day, I put on the music from Soarin'.
Oh, I
And
love it.
I sit there quietly with my eyes closed.
Wait. Old Soren or new Soren? I have to know.
Soarin'. I'm
Okay. Very
I'm a
good.
purist. Sorry, it's old Soarin'. I love it. I'm not complaining. It's beautiful, but it's gonna be old Soarin' for me. So I'll put on that music, or I'll put on the really, really old version of Living with the Land from
Oh,
back in the day. Or I hear Bob say, "See everybody."
Yep. Rebecca, I love that.
There's
We're
a
not- we're-
promise in there that says we're here, and there's something really,
Cool.
really amazing about that.
Either that or she's saying, "Oh, thank goodness it's over."
There you go.
No, that's what you guys say at the end of every episode with us.
We do love you, Tim, but that's true. Come on. Of all the catchphrases of all the podcasts, is there any of them that you enjoy more than just "see you, everybody"? We love you, Bob.
Hey, listen, I'm a fan of, "Hey, everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott." That's one of my
Hey!
Tim's gonna go all diva on us here.
Why is he so excited?
All that footage, Jack Wagner's.
Jack Wagner, do your thing.
Yes.
There you go.
I don't hear that.
Actually, Bob said it. If only you guys could see what goes on behind the scenes, because it's absolute chaos. And then Tim says, "Hey, everybody," and also
Oh, right.
all the kids in the classroom sit up straight.
For like 2 minutes.
That's actually correct. Brad, you hit that nail on the head. Tim says it's like cracking the whip.
That's right.
Everybody out there think it's all positive and loving, and we're all like, "Okay, shut up."
Tim is like the Wizard in the Wizard of Oz. We never knew what he looked like for the longest time.
That's
but
true.
when he spoke, we all listened. And
right.
it's the same way. It's the same way right now.
You know, another thing that everybody on the listening probably knows, and especially some of them who've been listening a long time, is one of the special things about this podcast is that listeners are incorporated. And you all know this because you got drawn in somehow or another. But I still can remember how excited I was the first time they played a show open with my daughter's voice. And I can remember the first time they said, "Emily, do you and your husband want to do a world showcase?" I forget the game. It was like
remove, rewind, refurb.
Yeah.
Refresh.
Yeah, so-
what is it?
Refresh, refurb.
Remove, rewind, refurb.
There it is.
That's it. So yeah, that was we felt like total celebrities, and and my husband never used to do anything except to go to Disney World reluctantly, and he pretends like he's reluctant, but every time. But yeah, I mean, you all know this because perhaps they've reached out to you or they've read one of your comments on one of the listener polls or something like that. But it's just really cool to be an actual important part of the show and feel like you're heard and you're part of something. And that's something that a lot of these other podcasts really don't include. And it makes Resort Loop special because you guys are so connected to everyone.
No, wait a minute. How this all?
I have no idea.
This is supposed to be about Disney. This isn't about.
I'm very uncomfortable right now.
Yes, we're way off topic.
Walt would approve of you.
Well, you made us the 500th episode.
That's true.
Right. You're doing something right, guys.
Well, we love doing the show. We love just the interaction. I mean, the Looper meet. Tim, I was lucky enough to be down there for that little first one we did over at Tea Traders, and I kept telling Tim, I said, "You're going to be blown away. You're going to be blown away because Looper Nation is fantastic. You're not going to be able to believe how great this is." And tell him, Tim, what that was like.
It was crazy. I mean,
that's it.
There's no other way to phrase it.
Crazy.
Every once in a while, I look at the picture. There's so many people. I'm like, oh, all these people came from all different places just to, be a part of the show and to see us. And then I just I get choked up and then I stop talking.
Then he blacked out.
Like right there.
I mean, we had Christina from Colorado or from Nevada.
Yes.
Florence was there
Dan and his newlywed wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got there from Colorado.
Dee Dee was there.
Tamara
was from Colorado. Yeah.
Oh, Tamara, I missed you.
It was so cool, and of course the Wells family from England. We got to meet them, and it's just that whole again. You look at go ahead. Looper Nation, if you get a chance, go back, look through our Facebook page. We posted a bunch of pictures of both the Looper meets we had, plus the one up here in Northeast Ohio. Look at the faces. Look at who everybody is coming from someplace different, and not just different geography wise, but just in life experience.
Right.
And Disney brings everybody together, and we're just lucky enough to live in a time where social media is allowing us all to interact so easily with one another.
Interact and find each other.
What's that, Tim?
I just interact and find each other.
and find each other. And it just is amplified that the Disney experience to a whole different level that could never be achieved before. So very exciting.
So much fun.
So much fun.
Yes.
So much fun.
Good times.
2 days away. 2 days away from Christmas. Emily,
Bum, bum, bum.
what are you hoping to get for Christmas?
Oh, man. As usual, more DVC points. And also somebody else's credit card with which to pay the dues on those DVC points.
It'll be Tim Scott, 5. Wait a minute, what's this number again?
Hold on, wait,
Exactly.
let me get a pen.
You might get 1 point.
I'm going to do this again to you guys. I'm hoping for another year of you guys letting us hijack once a month, because this is, I'll tell you what, for a mother of 3 little kids, this is probably one of the high points of every month. This is one of the for sure, one of the highest points of every month. And it sort of lets me remain sane as a person, as a mom, and just remember, that there's some really cool stuff going on, and it's not all like timeouts and things like that. So I'm hoping for another year of the DVC Roundtable.
Okay.
Santa.
We'll see what Santa's got in his bag.
That's right.
Rebecca, what are you looking forward to for Christmas this year?
I am looking forward to, my parents are coming to visit. I am a huge Christmas nut. I've been watching Hallmark movies since before Thanksgiving. I actually have.
Oh boy, you and my wife. Hallmark.
I have 4 Christmas trees downstairs and 3 Christmas trees upstairs. So I am a huge. And I was watching a show the other day, and somebody asked them what they wanted for Christmas, and it was my favorite answer that I've ever heard. And I want to have this answer. And they asked him what he wanted for Christmas, and he said, I want to have more of the same year I've had this year. And I got to tell you, despite its ups and downs, I've had a great year. So I want more of the same. I want more time with my family, more trips to Disney, more time with you guys. I want more of the same.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Very nice. And so that Brad doesn't trump Joe. Joe, what?
Joe, go Joe.
What are you hoping for Christmas?
Well, if I want stuff, okay, I want things. I'd like a new Mickey Mouse golf bag. That would be great. Nice. But in all seriousness, though, just to kind of piggyback on what Rebecca said, I'm looking forward to going to South Florida and spending some time with my niece and nephew, my brother, my sister-in-law. My parents are down there. Obviously, my wife will drive down from Central Florida. So kind of spending, our first real family Christmas since my parents moved from Jersey down in South Florida. So that'd be kind of cool. And also, too, is just sounds really cheesy, but I'm just grateful for life and being alive and just enjoying every day as it comes. And, looking forward to what this next year will bring and, what 2018 will bring. I mean, just looking forward to every day. And, it's just kind of as cheesy as that sounds. I'm grateful for that because there's a lot of people that aren't in as good a shape as I am. So, just looking forward to what 2018 could bring and just enjoying life. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to.
No, amen.
Very good.
Brad, I set the, I teed it up for you there. So hit it on the mark now. Come on, preach.
Brad, how about you?
World peace.
Beautiful. He took mine.
That ain't in Santa's bag. But
what's your favorite date?
What else can Santa bring you? Maybe football.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just say as far as family wise, I'm looking forward to this Christmas because it'll be the first time I get to meet my daughter Katie's beau. His name is Caleb.
Oh.
Caleb, I can't wait to meet you.
You better be good, Caleb.
Yeah, that's right, because there's going to be this clicking noise. I want you to know I told my girls early on I would kill the first one and hang his head over the fireplace.
Oh,
and the word would get around. Well, he is really her first boyfriend at 24 years of age. Sorry, Caleb. I got
He knows people all over the country, too.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this day.
I'll use this podcast to get the word out. I mean, I'm looking forward to that. But as we move into 2018, I like what Joe said. One of the things we talk about Disney, the fact that it gives us this hope and it just gives us that sense of when you get inside that bubble, it's like all of the stresses and the challenges everything seems possible now. Everything seems overcomable. And I think 2018, I want to experience 2018 the same way. I want to walk into next year and feeling like, you know what? This is a brand new slate, brand new year. I've stepped into a new bubble. It's called 2018, and now everything's possible. And if I get my wish, I will get under the tree a Resort Loop meet that I can attend in 2000.
Yes.
Oh.
Here.
So I finally get to meet all you wonderful people.
We need to schedule, Tim and Bob. Hint, hint.
Yeah, we're working on that.
That's true.
That's what Bob was hitting at, I think. No pressure.
Find out what
No pressure, but Christmas is, a couple days away. Just remember,
They're like,
Bob,
is Emily going to be in Florida? Let's have an Ohio meet. Is Emily going to be in Ohio? Let's have a Florida meet. It's cool. But I'm on to you.
We don't actually. I don't know.
They're all just faking it. They're all just faking it, guys.
Well, we are hoping for. I think I speak for Tim, but we are hoping for yet another wonderful year with all of you and all of Looper Nation, and we certainly hope that Looper Nation has an incredible Christmas holiday and all the holidays that are around this time of year, and have a great 2018.
Without a doubt,
we still got an awful lot of HolidayThon.
I know. It seems like such a good idea in July.
You say that beleagueredly.
This will be the longest HolidayThon ever.
Arduous might be a good
It's
word.
not our fault.
That's
We've
true.
offered to host a show for you guys, but
They knew what they were getting into.
That's true.
Tim had always wanted a 12 days of Christmas, and this happens to be where Christmas falls on a day where we end up with 12 days of HolidayThon. So
Wow.
Cool.
you guys are might be the 7 geese a laying. No, that would.
Oh, that sounds wrong. Don't go with that.
4 French hens.
There you go.
French hens.
I'm not sure that's any better. Or maids of milking. Don't
or
go there
DVC
either.
owners.
There you go.
That's nice. Hey, there's the song.
I love it.
There you go. Get to work on it. But thank you guys.
Thanks, everybody.
For,
A unique gift, you can buy a castle.
there you go. Buy a castle.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being so fantastic over the past year, and we look forward to 2018 with you. Merry Christmas, guys. And Tim, that is all I've got for the roundtable.
Awesome. Before we go, where can we find anybody? Emily, where can people find you?
Disney Lounging, Resort Loop Rocketeers page. First comes WDW, and Annoying Bob and Tim.
There you go. That should be a special URL. Rebecca, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at BeccaBerry73 and at Facebook on the same name, as well as Instagram. And you can always find me under the mistletoe.
Oh, my.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey.
Joe, where are you?
You can find me on Twitter at Joe Quat, on Facebook. You can find me over at the Mickey Dudes podcast. You can find me over at the Resort Loop Rocketeers page, the Resort Loop, Looper Nation Live, and you can also find me and Emily, and I think, is Christina going to be down there, Emily, for Marathon Weekend? But we will be down there for Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend 2018 version. I'm doing the 5, 10, and a half. Well, hopefully, if I consult with Emily and Christina, if she's down there, hopefully have a Rocketeer meetup one of those days as well. So hopefully we'll get the info to you guys very soon.
Nice. Last, certainly not least, Brad, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on Facebook, trolling around Resort Loop Live and Resort Rocketeers, even though I don't know that I qualify as a true Rocketeer. But hey, I've raced once, so I guess
that makes you a member.
You do.
Awesome.
And you can find me, Brad Coates, on Facebook, Papa Mouse 1 on Twitter, and anywhere where I can hang out with these wonderful people, that's where you'll find me.
Aw.
What's that other show you do?
The Diz Dads.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm back with the Diz Dads. And actually, I just got a text. I'm not having to do another podcast tonight. Yay!
This is exhausting. He can't do any more.
That's true. Oh, my gosh.
It's too much fun. It'll be
He has to drive us home.
Right.
I don't know what you're thinking.
Oh, my gosh. And I'm Tim Scott. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, the website, ResortLoop.com. We got to go. We got to churn out some more HolidayThon shows.
No rest for the wicked.
No.
See you, everybody.
Vacation memories will stay with you and your family for a lifetime. The Resort Loop Travel Group was created with this in mind. Our fee-free services will relieve you of the stress and confusion of finding and booking the best vacation at the best price. After booking, we will continue to monitor for ways to save you even more on your vacation. We will check for any upcoming packages and discounts to save you as many vacation dollars as possible. Resort Loop Travel Group, gateway to your magical vacation memories. Get a quote, or for more information, visit ResortLoopTravelGroup.com.